democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
You cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism is concerned.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion. Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I am about force.
Now, you see, let me
say
so that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues. Welcome back on the program. Still talking 2019 elections, the Defection saga. My guest is still here, Deputy Chairman, Lagos State Councillors Forum, and also a member of the APC. Thank you very much for joining us or staying tuned on the program. Earlier, I raised some questions, and I want you to answer that. Well, about 3 governors are out of the APC, including the president of the Senate, and there are speculations that the Speaker of the House of Representatives will soon dump your party. Remy?
Yes, the Speaker that you just mentioned is also part of the team. We don't seem to be a core member of APC. So if he leaves today or even tomorrow, it won't be a surprise to some of us. Because we expected him to have gone with his team. But while some of them are still staying behind, we don't know. But then we encourage as many that are defecting or that are going, we wish them all the very best in whatever political party they find themselves. What I just want Nigerians to do is to carefully understand who they're voting for, to be sure that this person we are voting for has the interest of the nation or just a personal interest to enrich their pockets. If it's for interest of the nation, then good.
Okay, yesterday, the former chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Amadou Ali, has said that the All Progressives Congress cannot be able to muster the number of to impeach the president of the Senate, if I may get him right, to muster numbers to impeach the president of the Senate, because there are speculations that when the House resumes, that the president of the Senate will be impeached. Let's take a listen to what the former PDP chairman has to say on Saraki.
If haven't tasted the governance of that place and they found it totally inappropriate, unacceptable to Nigerians, they decided to return home. We are holding this party to welcome them.
Distinguished senators, we also need you to protect your chambers. We will join you. We're your junior brothers, we're your colleagues. We will make sure that nothing happens in that place, but we need to see you too. We need you there.
Shown them we are capable of taking over. In the next few weeks, they will find that when the Senate resumes, we've taken over. So how are they going to impeach you? That's out of the question. Bukola was our own making. He defected. And to become Senate President, we supported him.
Well, the former chairman of the PDP there, Amadou Ali, Honorable Remy Shittu, what do you make of the comments?
Well, all this drama is not really necessary. What is important is that in the Senate, the party with the highest number of members is the one that will be the Senate President. So let's wait till then. If, as at the time,
is your party
resume,
is your party still at the majority
level? As at today, we are still at the majority.
In what sense?
So we won't be
the latest defection of the president of the Senate.
That's what I'm telling you. If you do the new calculation now, I think it's still 54 to around 59 thereabout. But then we are not sure of the exact figure. Like he said, when they resume, if there are going to be more defections from PDP to APC. Otherwise, it is clear the minority cannot be Senate president over the majority. So if at the end of the day they resume and APC find themselves to be the majority, then the Saraki has to go, because the majority is the one that should produce the Senate president.
And what if the PDP is at the majority?
So Saraki will stay. It's a simple thing. I don't argue over things that are baseless. The bottom line is that the majority must produce the Senate president. So I think that's the all the other stories are they revolve around it.
Is this a big loss for your party, the APC?
Well, it is painful. It's a big loss. There's no shying away from that. Nevertheless, we are determined. We are courageous. We know that we can still go back to the drawing board and still deliver for APC in 2019. So all these defections and defections, we are not really distracted by most of these defections, and we are not distracted in any way.
You seem so confident that your party will win come 2019 elections. Before you tell me that, let's take a listen to this one. The PDP NEC meeting held yesterday, and leaders of the People's Democratic Party said the 2019 election will strictly be about the 200 million Nigerians who deserve good governance and not any political party or individual interests. We're talking about a good governance here. The national chairman of the party, which is a candidate, said this while addressing the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. Let's take a listen to this one.
These heroes of democracy who had decided to move from a ruling party, very unusual, to stand with the people, not only PDP, they are standing with the majority of Nigerians. We need to honor them. They are the heroes of democracy. And as a matter of fact, their decision was in defense of democracy.
It was carpeted the other time. Did they complain? No. When I hear that some people are trying to break into the chambers of the Senate to steal the mess and install a pseudo president of the Senate, I wonder whether they actually know the rules of our democratic engagement. It's not a gestapo, we're a democracy, and the constitution of this country is very clear that members of the Senate and the House of Representatives can choose from among themselves their own president of the Senate or speaker without leaning to any political party. It's a question of confidence of members of the chamber.
I'm happy for all of you that have kept this one together, and I'm happy coming to meeting later.
I assure you, therefore, all of us will work tirelessly, courageously to do what is right, to put this country the right way it should be. I will not stop. I offer myself to ensure I continue to play my part. Continue to ensure that we defend our democratic place in this country. We provide security and provide good leadership and good governance for everybody. But that's only possible if we are united. Because not any one man or 10 or 20 can do it alone. So I appeal. The message I would like to leave here with is a message of love and to let us all work together so that we can, this sacrifice will really be worth it in the interest of our people.
Well, President of the Senate there and other stakeholders, including the Governor of Secretary of State, Aminu Tambuwal, and other stakeholders, even the Benue State Governor was there at that meeting yesterday. But one thing that is so crucial, made mention by the national leader of the party, Uche Secondos, says that those who defected are standing with the majority of Nigerians. Do you share in this plight?
I don't agree with that. I don't agree because I will continue to maintain we have a few businessmen using Nigeria turn Nigeria to a business center where if this political party doesn't favor you today because of the interest you want to gain, then you can easily move to another political party. It shows lack of seriousness. I mean, lack of seriousness on the part of anybody that can easily move here and there. So how can they come and tell us it's because of Nigerians that are defecting?
Don't you think Nigerians are aggrieved? Don't you think Nigerians are aggrieved
sure they
with
are.
the current situations of the country, the economy, the issue of security? You tell me more. Let's open the phone lines now to get a pulse of Nigerians on the pulse of what we're looking at this morning. 2019 elections, the defection saga. What do you make of these defections of political party, defections of politicians moving from one party to another? Remy Shittu is still here. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Back to the question. Do you think Nigerians are aggrieved with what is happening concerning the state of the nation?
Well, what I will implore Nigerians to do is to equip themselves with information. And I can tell you categorically that the economy is growing very, very fast. For instance,
in what sense?
Yes, I'm going to give you figures. We work with figures. We don't work with propaganda and messages. In 2016, our reserve was $24 billion, despite the low crude oil per barrel price. And then in 2018, that figure has doubled as at April to $48 billion, even with all the distractions to this honorable man called President Muhammadu Buhari. In the last 5 years, we have gotten the highest reserves in Nigeria. Not forgetting that during President Goodluck Jonathan's time, it was more than $100 per barrel. And we are talking of a man that inherited less than $30 per barrel.
Okay.
And was able to grow.
We'll talk more. Let me put you on the pause now. Williams is calling us from Yola, all the way from Yola. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Williams. Hello, Williams.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Go on with your comment, please.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying your program with the gentleman with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really want to appreciate the gentleman speaking there.
Thank you.
But at the same time, he's also speaking like someone is about to defect too from APC.
I'm going nowhere, sir.
If you are witnessing what is happening in the northern side, what is happening in the northern side, yeah, the issue of security. If you want to say the truth from your heart, is that the number of deaths we have recorded, even in terms of Boko Haram, is higher than what we are expecting, what we are having now. You people who sit in Lagos and Abuja, you don't know what is happening in the northern side. Every day promises of security and you don't know what is happening. You see this politics you are saying like this?
All right. Well, we can't hear you again. Thank you very much, Williams from Jula. Quick one. You want to react to what?
Yes,
Williams said?
I sympathize with millions of Nigerians and particularly the families that have lost loved ones. I mentioned something before. In the fear of God, the blood being shed in this nation is too much. And then this blood will speak eventually. I mentioned that the same people that were behind Boko Haram are the ones fueling herdsmen crisis. And I'm happy that a London group has come up with a report to tell us, Nigerians, that PDP is behind herdsmen killing. This is a London-based group.
It's yet to...
The Bridge Center came up with this report.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate that there's so much life being lost. These people are just trying to make governance difficult for the president. But then what I will implore the president to do is to tell the security men. He has been saying that, but he also needs to double up on that and make sure the security men are living up to responsibilities to bring people to book. So that they have brought so many people to book, so many arrests have been made, but then the key sponsors should be brought to
that
book.
same London group that you made mention, they did not even make mention of a particular party.
They did.
Talking about whether it's the PDP, but that's just a discussion for another day, because investigation is still ongoing. Because if you make mention of that, you should be able to mention names of people who are behind the killings.
That is where we want the government to come in and then just name and shame these people. They need to be mentioned. There's no need,
It's not about mentioning them. They should
be prosecuted. Sure, because the law of the land say if you kill, then you must be killed.
Just a moment. Femi is calling us from Kaduna. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi. Can you speak up so that we can hear you?
I'm my Mr. Jaya. Thank you this morning for bringing politicians.
Okay.
I thank you this morning for bringing in a politician.
Okay.
Not politician, but they come there to come and defend politicians. Thank you very much. God bless you. Concerning those politicians who are jumping from one country to another, I myself am not in support of that. But in 2015, we trusted President Buhari as an honest man. Nigerians trusted him very much, and they voted for him. Buhari has tried. We know that he has tried. But his try is not the best for us. Inside there, you go to the street in Lagos. I always see you every day in Lagos in the street. You hear what Nigerians are saying. When Nigerians are saying, this is my brother that is with you there. Look at his body. The body is not like this on the street in Lagos. Those politicians, they feel fine. But the poor people, they are suffering today. We are tired of those retired soldiers. They are tired as the military head of state. They failed Nigeria. They are now coming back again as civilian president. They are failures. We don't want them again. Even though Jonathan is not a good man.
Okay, thank you very much, Femi. You've made your points. Femi from Kaduna. Thank you very much. Well, he's saying even you as a politician that you are enjoying, that Nigerians are suffering. Back to the question we were talking earlier when you were talking about our reserves. At those times, don't you think a lot of Nigerians are indeed suffering and smiling? And that's why this agitation is on and on. That made the national chairman of the PDP to say that those who are defecting are because of Nigerians. They want good governance.
Well, something is very, very clear, which, in Nigeria, we must begin to come to being very, very realistic. You cannot have your cake and eat it at the same time. You can't. So when the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, with all due respect to him, dipped his hand into the government purse and spent all the money in Nigeria to buy elections, $3 on the street of Lagos. It's like Muslims when they want to go for their fasting. They eat sari. If Nigerians were eating sari then, they'd be ready to fast. You get, the money that was spent during the election was to, you don't spend public funds that way, the way the last government did. They actually finished the vote. And that is what is telling on Nigerians now. And then we have the president now coming in. I just told you now that the result has been built. I'm telling you, in 2018 now,
Sam is calling us from Benue. Thank you very much, Sam.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Yeah, good morning. This is Pastor Sam from Benue State.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to contribute to the program that is on now, on air. We actually appreciate this government for the best they have done. But I think the young man seated there is actually taking side with politicians, not taking side with Nigerians. He is saying that the people that defected are the problem of APC. Yes, we agree to that. It could be the problem of APC. But are they also the problem of bad governance in Nigeria? Are they the problem of bad governance of Buhari? Are they the reason for insecurity in Nigeria as well? This issue of a good leader does not always, all the time, put blame to the other. This APC government is good at blaming everybody. Just look at the phone. He defected from APC. Now the next thing they send EFCC after him. They said he lose the election according to them. The next thing they send EFCC. If you're in APC, they don't come after you. When you're in APC, when you're in PDP, they come after you. What kind of government is that? They are telling the world that they are fighting for themselves, not for Nigerians. They are just into blame game. Blaming everybody but themselves. The same thing with Oshumole. He's blaming everybody and he talks too much.
Thank you very much, Sam. Sam, you've made your point there. Thank you very much, Sam from Benue. Back to your line of thought, what you were discussing earlier. We were talking about Nigerians, what they should know about this administration.
And I just mentioned about the reserves. For 2018, 48 billion. That's the highest in the last 5 years. Even with the low per barrel of crude oil, and inflation has dropped drastically. For 15 consecutive months, inflation kept dropping. People need to begin.
But
to
Nigerians are not indeed feeling the spores of things coming down.
That was why I first started by telling us that the way the money was spent during the election of 2015 was too much. It is now the president is trying to stabilize things. And I really empathize with the president in the person of President Muhammadu Buhari. Everything was just against him. The political atmosphere was against him. The economy was against him. Political was against him. Everything was against him. So I'm sure Buhari would have done better if most of these things were not there. But then, I'm not trading blames. If you want to provide solution, you must be able to know what the problem is. It is when you know a problem, then it is half solved before you can now begin to provide solution. So we have to continue to point to where the problem is to Nigerians. It's not as if we're blaming anybody. I have said it that the president can do better than he is doing now.
Emmanuel is calling us from Onitsha. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Emmanuel.
I agree with the gentleman in the house.
I agree with you too, sir.
My contribution to this topic today is that, when you want to invite someone to a studio, it's not that someone will base on one political party. No.
Well, we're expecting, like I said earlier, we're expecting the PDP member talking about Fatima Mohammed, and that's why she's not here up till now. I made that point clear earlier. Can you leave the guests and talk about the issue on the program?
Okay, what I'm saying is that for APC, that Bukola turned to another does not mean that he's not a bad leader. When you find out that the political party you are with are not doing what they're supposed to do, you have every right to decamp to any other one. He's not a bad leader. You and I know that the majority of APC today are PDP. When they joined the APC, none of APC members come out to say that they are doing this, they are doing this. But today now they are now decamping to PDP. Our gentleman in the house is now saying that they are doing this for business. No. When you find out that their manifesto, they are not working towards it, you have every right to change, and that does not show the sign of bad leader. So that's what I'm trying to say. They should not point out that APC, Bukola Saraki and Co are not good just because they come to PDP. No.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emmanuel from Onitsha. Well, it's a tough time for your national leader, Adams Oshiomhole, at this time, being the chairman of the APC. He came in and we were seeing defections. What exactly is happening?
Well, it's not about Governor Adams Oshiomhole. Defection normally happens after congresses are being held. I knew there would be defections after the national convention, meaning that before you can emerge as a flag bearer of a political party, you must have your structure within the party. You must be sure of yourself that during primaries you'll be voted for. So these people know that they don't have any followers. They know that when they stand for election, they will fail. That is why they are going to another party to go and negotiate for free tickets.
Have you seen an end to defection?
Well, probably there will still be more defections, and as they are defecting, more people are also coming to join us. Like we have the PDP chairman in Kwara State, and some of his followers, they've come to join the APC. So as they go, more will come. So the reason why they are leaving is not because of the new chairman. No. It is because they know that when they're standing for primary election, which is going to be taken from this between August and October, all political parties must have produced House of Assembly candidates, House of Rep candidates, gubernatorial candidates, and even the presidency and Senate.
Okay. So Adamu is calling us from Lokoja. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, what we in Nigeria need to understand is this. Some people doesn't know what economy is all about. Some people doesn't know what politics is all about. We know very well when the former PDP chairman was removed, we know how some people left PDP to other parties. And this thing happened 2015 or 14-15 before the election. What we are seeing today, I can use my state as an example in terms of security. When the S-men were penetrating, according to some people in Benue State, the Kogi State government, Yaya Bello, said is going to give them a pay for their rearing. What happened after that attack in Kogi State? Some people always ask questions. Does it mean that since Yaya Bello decided to give them land, that these people came again to attack the state? That is just politics. If you check what is happening in Sokoto, Benue, the same Benue people now, they come from APC to PDP. Where again Sokoto, they camping from PDP, from APC to PDP. Does it mean that since APC could not be able to protect the life and property, PDP would be the one to help them? Is that what they are telling Nigerians? So all those things we need to open our eyes and check the forces that is pushing all those things across the British state. So to me, we should just calm down. We know where we are coming from, so that we can be able to find solution to where we are heading to. That is just my contribution.
Okay, thank you very much. Adamu from Lokoja there. Well, you heard Adamu. They're saying that if they are moving to those political parties, will they solve all the challenges that we're having in the country?
That wouldn't solve any challenge. We just must understand that the only reason why anybody will be moving up and down, I kept mentioning it, is because they have their own interest above the national interest. They are our common enemies. These people are not the ones that are hungry. It's the common masses that are hungry. So the common masses must unite to wrestle power from these greedy politicians. I see them as greedy who doesn't have the national interest. The common masses are the ones that are hungry, not these ones. So we must find a way. You know, Adamu Muazu said it, I think in 2014 May Day. He said, they elites know how they meet at the top. He said it is we masses that should know how to come together and wrestle power from these people. We must wrestle power from these people that believe Nigeria belongs to them. And these people are already showing their faces. When you begin to move up and down, you are telling us that Nigeria belongs to you. Nigeria does not belong to anybody. It is our commonwealth, and it must go round. And we must support any president that is sincere to take this to greater height. Other than these ones that are moving up and down. For me, it shows lack of seriousness.
Do you still see
and gross irresponsibility?
The APC having bright chances ahead of the 2019 elections. Okay, there's another caller. Chinonso is calling us from Niger. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Manuel.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Chinonso Onya. I'm calling from Bida, Niger State.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to thank the guest on your studio there.
Thank you very much, sir.
I like the contribution, but I would like to say that everybody that has contributed is entitled to their own opinion. But my own opinion is this. My own opinion and what my observation is this. Those people defecting from APC to PDP, they are not doing that for their own personal interest. They are doing that because of what they've seen, the yearning and crying of the masses of Nigeria. You see, let me tell you one thing. People Mr. Emmanuel, there's one of the programs I used to watch, the people on the street, and that one used to interview people on the street. If you look at anytime I watch that program, I used to see the way you ask people questions and their response. You find that Nigerians are suffering. Nothing is changing. The change promise is they are not fulfilling it. So the masses are crying. That is why the members and the governors that have defected have seen and have heard the cries of the masses. That was why they said they give it fit to defect and follow the cries and the aspiration of the masses. So the defection of those people from APC to PDP is the yearning of the people of Nigeria. So
Okay.
they are following the act and the
Thank
call
you
of
very much,
Nigeria.
Chino. So you've made your points, Chino, so from Niger. Well, the question I asked earlier is that do you think your party still has bright chances ahead of the 2019 elections?
Very much bright chances. I just told you what we need to do now as a political party is begin to roll out the achievements of this man despite the huge distraction. I mean, we're
So
supposed
you
to enjoy.
see defections as distractions?
Before they defected, they were already distracting us. I mean, I see no reason why a political party will claim, like APC, we have the presidency, we have majority of the National Assembly, yet these people are always at loggerheads with the president. From the one, they never supported him, they never encouraged him. They were always at loggerheads with this man because he refused to give them money. And there's nothing of such will happen.
Is it about money?
It's about their defection and going up and down is all about money and personal interest, sharing money. And this man has refused to play balls with them. He said, do your job. No money will exchange hand. And so you can have budget lying down from November 2017. They just passed it in May 2015 because cash did not exchange hand. They don't have the interest of Nigeria at hand. And Nigeria must say no to them. We must take Nigeria back away from them and give it to the Nigerian people.
Okay, now talking about the 2019 elections. Now, the executive, there are pending issues with the National Assembly. Now, the National Assembly is on recess. They are to open next month. What do you make of the 242.4 billion naira that this government wants to spend on 2019 elections? And it's still waiting for the approval from the National Assembly, and the National Assembly at the moment is on recess.
Well, I'm sure the ENEC must have, based on past experience, must have come up with some of the things they will need to do to make 2019 election successful. So they must have come up with these figures. I'm sure there will be a breakdown, aggregates of what makes these figures. So I'm sure that INEC must have sat down to do a comprehensive and holistic detail of the sum of this money. So it's going for election is to make the election free and fair, and every material, every support they need, everything they need, I'm sure must have been put in.
So how will the executive utilize this when the National Assembly is on recess yet to get an approval from them?
No, they must get approval for it. The president cannot operate outside the law of the land. The National Assembly are the lawmakers at the federal level. So if the president does anything outside, he knows the consequences of doing anything outside the law. So I'm sure the president too will be advised, will be well advised and be very careful.
What do you foresee when they resume? Dele is calling us from UB. Thank you very much, Dele. Hello, Dele, are you there?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm there, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Jai, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, please, I just want to contribute to what you people are discussing over there. And I believe that once you are in politics, I believe that whatever you are doing in politics, I believe that you are doing it because of your own interest. That is number one. Because every party has to safeguard themselves. And that's what everybody is doing. Even to the person you have in the studio there. You yourself, I believe that what you are doing there, you are doing it because of yourself. That's it. That is number one. And number two is that if you look at what is happening in Nigeria now, as other people have already said, so the masses are really suffering. That is the gospel truth. Because look at what happened in Egypt. Just because of the election, how many soldiers were deported? And look at what happened in Zamfara, where killings are going on over there. I believe that at least how many soldiers are deported to that place? And we Nigeria are seeing all these things. And you are there telling us that APC are trying, APC are trying. I believe that they should do away with the killing, not the election now. That's just my contribution, sir.
Thank you very much, Dele from Yobe. Now, what do you foresee happening at the National Assembly? Even you saw what transpired, the build up to 2015 elections, where the same governor, the governor of Sokoto now, then was the Speaker of the House of Reps, where he defected from the PDP to the APC, where there were issues of skill, jumping off the fence. Are you foreseeing that play out when the lawmakers resume?
Yeah, a lot of drama will unfold when these people resume. They will try everything possible to further frustrate the president. You know, while they were in APC, they were there frustrating him. Now that they've even shown their true color, they have unmasked themselves. I'm sure they will be all out there to further frustrate the president. This is why we're calling on Nigerians. No, I'm not speaking because I'm a politician. I'm speaking in national interest. I'm speaking in the fear of God, because I'm accountable to God on the final day. So Nigerians must come together and take Nigeria away from these few people that believe Nigeria belongs to them.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll still talk more about issues ahead of the 2019 elections. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is Core TV.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to Core TV Primetime News Broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV. Leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
The judiciary, third arm of government. What happens here is what we give to you. The arraignments, arguments, rulings, adjournments of cases and judgments. The fight against corruption and issues bordering on human rights violations.
The doctrine of least spenders ought to have been respected, that no arm of government, however powerful, should take the laws into its hands as held by the Supreme Court.
Justice is one way. It's either you go for justice or justice go after you. But I've never seen a situation where an individual is afraid of justice.
We move from court to court to give you updates on legal matters, when they happen and where they are happening, going extra miles to get reactions from the parties, even when they're not in the mood to speak.
No comment. Talk to my lawyer.
Watch Legal Scope on Core TV News at this time.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
little longer than we thought. Last week, the Kwara governor was as good as say I'm leaving, but he didn't say when. So I think we are not surprised at all. But these are what I might call tempting moments. But I have witnessed similar situation in my state, where big people were living. But the beauty of democracy is that whether big or small, if it is one man, one vote, on election day, no difference between a senator, a president, a journalist, and any other person.
10-day leave, and he did the right thing. He has written to the National Assembly, the President of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. As the President leaves for his vacation, I believe that we are supposed to continue to be very responsible as legislators. Those issues that are so important to this country that we haven't dealt with, we should be able to come together, come back, and deal with them. And here I have in mind the consideration of the budget of the INEC for the 2019 elections. That is the request of Mr. President on environment and supplementary budget. I believe that we are going to do a lot of justice to the people of this country if we work hard to pass those requests. I also.
There you have it. Adamso Shomale and Ahmed Lawan there at the presidential villa. That was 2 days ago. Well, Remy, before we let you go today, can you relate some of the achievements of the APC? Well, if you think that the APC is still popular ahead of the 2019 elections.
Thank you very much. And I think it's important I say this before I leave here. I'm also an advocate that a youth should come on board. But in all sincerity of heart, the current political atmosphere of Nigeria is not conducive for any youth at this time to take charge. Otherwise, these people will call cabals, all these people defecting here and there. They will choke that youth and they will not be able to do anything.
Is that possible?
Yes. The best we youth can do is to give our support to the President Muhammadu Buhari, to come again, the second time, to clear the road for the youths to come on board and have soft landing and leverage on these things. So if you're going to ask me some of the things the President has done or the APC has done at the federal level to deserve a coming back, I just mentioned the issue of the economic growth. Despite the low per barrel of crude oil, that in 2018, the reserve we have now is the highest in 5 years, even higher than when per barrel of crude oil was more than $100. When we had oil boom, we have more reserves now. Double of the one we have in 2016 to the tune of 48 billion. Inflation has dropped consecutively for 15 months. I mean, that is an accolade for the President. Power has improved.
But that is debatable. If you talk about the issue of power, some people, some Nigerians feel that, well, they are not seeing power. And it's not working for them.
One thing Nigeria must realize, let's be realistic, there's no perfect government in the whole world. Not even in developed nations, the US, name the country, and even in Russia. There's no perfect government. There's still room for development. There's still room for improvement. I have my expectations too of this present government, even though I'm APC. I'm looking for a Nigeria where all political office holder, from presidency down to the councillor, whose children will be going to public schools, and patronize our universities here, patronize our hospitals here. That is the type of Nigeria I'm also dreaming and praying for. But
not the case that when you are sick, you're
flying abroad. I'm totally against it. I must confess. So the president should do everything possible to make sure that Nigerians are being treated here without having to fly abroad. Let them also come here and turn that to a form of tourism and make more revenue, generate more revenue for the country.
Well, I've been speaking with the Deputy Chairman of Lagos State Councillors Forum, Honorable Remy. Shittu Remy is an APC member. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. And unfortunately, Fatima Mohammed, PDP member, could not join us on the program.
She was scared.
No,
she was scared. She didn't have anything to say.
What are you saying? Fatima was scared.
She was scared. She was scared of coming to say, yeah, I'm going to offer. So she was scared.
Well, very interesting. There. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Let me give you this handshake. Thank you.
Thank you
for coming.
Thank you for bringing us
Core
on.
Digest. And that's how much we can take on the program this morning, talking about the 2019 elections, the defection saga. We hope that the issue of good governance will be key to this administration. And well, tomorrow again is Core Digest Extra. That is the extra part of the program, and it promises to be interesting. Do not miss that program. Till I come your way again, I remain Emmanuel Ajayi. Go out there, do something great for this great country, Nigeria, if you want to be great.